Well, hello there, everybody. It's Chief Zero here with another video for Destiny, and today we're going to be talking about the new update for December. This is a pretty big one, actually. I'm pretty surprised in how much they were able to pack into it. So let's start off with one of the biggest things is Sparrow racing. The SRL event is live for 3 weeks. So until December 29th, you can hop on your Sparrow, go on these tracks on Mars and Venus, and race with randoms and your friends. You get some pretty cool, nifty things out of it, some new Sparrows and whatnot. It's a lot of fun, guys. I highly encourage you guys to try it out if you haven't already. And you can see right there, I'm racing with my buddy Noble Ryan. Ooh, look at that. I'm totally going to beat him. So, anyways, let's move on to the next things. Classes. Another big thing about this update is the nerf to Titans, specifically the Sunbreakers, because it's kind of crazy how OP they are in PvP and the like. So we're gonna go over some of the things that they do here. So first off, the main thing, Sunbreaker. For the Sunbreaker melee, Titans are generally the powerhouse that are the close counter close combat, there you go. Close combat players that you would assume would want to rush in and whatnot, and so they always kind of made fun of because they have T-Rex arms and whatnot. So what Bungie did with this update is they extended the range for the melee by 12.5%, which isn't, it's not warlock status, but it's a pretty nice range extension for it. The Sunstrike has a decreased damage over time by 1 second. It's not a lot, but it could make a difference. You never know. The Super, the huge thing about it is the Hammer of Soul with damage resistance while you're using your Super by 9%. The Hammer of Soul is slowed down once it's thrown. It doesn't travel as fast, so you have a little bit more time to react to it. Um, you have the reduced ability to create never-ending chain of explosions. This is kind of a biggie one. So it's not consistently setting the entire field on fire and killing masses and masses. For the passives, the Forge Master, reduce splash damage detonation, so that just means less splash damage by 20%. Flame Seeker, turn down the tracking bonus by 25%. That is huge. I'm kind of really excited about that. Flame Seeker, they removed the +1 recovery and agility stat, and instead added those into the Fleet Fire and Firekeeper retro, respectively, I guess. The Fleet Fire has the agility, and the Firekeeper has the recovery. Cauterize has a cooldown from 0 seconds to 3 seconds. That's a pretty big jump. Movement, for all subclasses for the Titan, all movements are now increased by 5%. So you should be able to go a little bit faster and higher because of it. It's pretty nice. Moving on to the Striker, the melee is also extended as well as for the Defender. Stormfist also has an increase in damage by 18.2%. That is pretty big and pretty sizable. It should deal a lot more damage now. Um, Overload also provides faster melee recharge by 50%. That is also huge. They're really doubling down on this Titan as a powerhouse. Um, Discharge finally has a little bit more damage too, with almost 8%. They also changed the area of effect damage that you would hit someone with to a spherical shape, much like a pulse grenade or something like that. Amplify, they give you 30% more super when you actually kill something or hit something with it to activate it. Passives are now Headstrong also gives you a faster sprint speed, which is kind of nice. It also makes kind of sense too. Transfusion, improved cooldown from 5 seconds to 2. That's pretty nice. Unstoppable now provides you a +2 armor. It's really only an increase of 1 from last. Um, it also gives you a 25% damage resistance, which is pretty cool. Juggernaut gives you more shield health by 14%. And now it also works with Airborne, so that's pretty cool. Again, movement speeds also increased. The Defender didn't get as many changes this time because I feel like most of it's already pretty balanced enough since it is a support class. They did exchange the melee range like the others. Um, However, when you use your super, your melee and grenade abilities are instantly recharged. That's pretty cool. It's a nifty little thing that defenders can use. Overall, that's it for the Titans. So it's pretty good changes so far. We'll have yet to see how it turns out in the Crucible, but for the most part, everything sounds pretty decent. We'll figure it out sooner or later. Now for the weapons, they've done a change. A lot of they did blah blah blah. They changed a lot on the weapons. Um, so we'll try to go over it as fast as we can. It's not too much, but it's still pretty noteworthy. They changed a lot of the base damages for assault rifles, um, auto rifles, not assault. Basically, an increase all around to most of them because they're not as powerful as pulse rifles as they used to be. Pulse rifles, they did get a little bit of a reduced damage, which is kind of nice because oh my god, those hawk saws, those everything that is a pulse rifle has just been wrecking Crucible recently, so it's pretty nice. Um, Hand cannons, aiming down sights is a little bit more reliable now, which is nice. Shotguns, they really nerfed the shotguns a little bit more, in what I feel a little bit unnecessarily, but we'll see. You do move slower when you're carrying a shotgun. The fall off starts. Some of our are a lot lower now. The fall off, so damage doesn't do as much. Um, there's a lot of more reload, aiming down sights. It's just they're basically slowed you down for carrying the shotgun in almost every sense of the word. They slow you down. They slow the reload time. They give you more recoil, pulling it out. It does a lot more, but they did increase the base damage by 5% on AI, so anywhere around PVE, which is I guess kind of cool. We'll see how that works. Fusion rifles, they they kind of did a few of other things about it. So the first off is that they increased the charge speed on fast charging fusion rifles. However, they reduced the burst damage to compensate it. So that sounds pretty fair. It's all good. Um, you have less stability for hip firing on some fusion rifles, and also they increased the aiming down sights with while crouching. Reduction in carried inventory for all fusion rifles, so you don't get as many shots. Um, Depending on the fusion rifle, that might not be bad. That might be alright. They also increased PVE damage by 10%, so that's kind of cool. Sniper rifles, they changed the extended sniper rifle damage fall off, so damage only reduces on very long range shots. So basically, if you're the sniper that likes to get shots from all the way across the map, you're gonna get a little bit of less damage on them, but it's okay. You're still probably gonna wreck. Luck in the chamber on the Omolon sniper rifle now only buffs precision damage. Uh, Sniper rifles have been coming back a little bit more, and mainly because of that. So we'll see how this changes it up. The ready speed for fire for sidearms are now increased. Um, Swords, uh, arc and void can now survive one hammer of soul, so that's pretty nice. um, on the exotic side, they've done a few more things. Now with some of them are year two weapons also. So the first curse, the perk itself now refills the magazine when activated, provides better stability, better target acquisition, and damage fall off starts further while the perk remains active. Also, you get a 25 base range on it. They fixed a bug where the first curse perk would deactivate when you bring out your ghost, and boost your imprecation base damage and magazine size. That's pretty nice. Hawk Moon, reduced range by 20. Ouch. Lucky bullets from Luck in the Chamber and Holding Aces now deal 1.2 bonus damage instead of 1.3. The Chaperone, they reduced the base damage on it, but it increased the precision damage um, to compensate. Now, Dragon's Breath, oh, this one's my favorite, guys. So basically, you can detonate the rocket whenever you can, and it's gonna follow, following the trajectory that it's going. But when it drops, it basically sets the entire place on fire. It's so cool. I loved it. And to compensate for that, you can only shoot one at a time now. But it's so good, guys. I highly recommend that you guys try it. Um, and they've done some more work on the exotics. Fabian strategy, frontlines perk on Fabian no longer buffs rate. Instead, they just maxed it out. Damage per bullet is offset to compensate for a high rate of fire. They removed the extended mag perk and replaced it with flared magwell. Removed small bore perk and replaced with rifled barrel. Increased reload and base stability on the weapon to help offset the benefits the removed stat upgrade were providing. So hopefully it'll be worth using. We'll check it out in a little bit. Black Spindle, they removed the scope upgrades and replaced them with barrel upgrades. That's also yet to see how it handles, but we'll check it out. This super good advice coming back from year one. They reduced the chance to return ammo by 20%, but added a chance to pull inventory ammo into magazine when you land a shot. So it's kind of really cool now. We'll have to see about that. The sleeper simulant, they increased the ammo by from 7 to 9. They took out the bug where you can convert one ammo from a different heavy into full heavy ammo for it. Inventory no longer benefits from fusion rifle armor perks, but does benefit from heavy ammo armor perks. So that's pretty cool. Armor, they've added a whole bunch of year one into year two now. It's pretty nice. The exotic collector's edition class armor can now be used alongside with another exotic armor. They fixed an issue where the rare leg armor was not granting bonus ammo to certain exotics. It's kind of cool, but they introduced an exotic bug leg thing where sometimes they just don't decrypt, and I was victim of that already. But oh well, we're moving on. Fix an issue where the warlock helmet armor silicon fen 2, so it no longer uses a leg armor talent grid. That's pretty good. The exotics for others are the Taikonaut no longer turns off tracking for rockets with that already have tracking. The Tarantula arc damage reduction applies to vehicles. The Symbiote, you have a reduced golden gun time. Nothing manacles slightly turn down the tracking on the scatter grenade. Ouch! I really like those. No backup plans. Shotgun activating force barrier only works for Defender Titans. Now I didn't know this was an issue for other Titans. Other classes, but all right, pretty good. Skull of Dire Ahamkara has been added to the exotic blueprint collection. Yay! So now with the activities, you can get a hive ship. Not a hive ship. What am I talking about? Various chests around the hive ship will now grant Hadium flakes instead of worm spore. That's pretty cool, I guess. If you need more flakes. The strikes, the Will of Crota has now been added. The Nightfall now also gives you 500 Vanguard rep on the first completion per character per week. The Crucible, the 3 coins are now applicable in the Crucible. That's pretty huge, I feel. We might be seeing a whole bunch of exotics drop now, but the thing about it though is that you do have to win the match for the coins to take into effect. If you lose a match, you still use up the 3 coins, but you won't get anything. So you have to win, and you have to have the 3 coins available. The scoreboard now for zone control is based on advantage kills. Inferno Rumble now has the correct tool type information. The Mercy rule no longer applies for Rumble, and you can only enter Rumble as a solo player. I'm kind of bummed out about that because I felt like Rumble was kind of a leeway into like being able to play with your friends against each other, unless they add something where you can finally do a private match to play with your friends. I see this kind of a bad thing. But however, Classic Rumble doesn't allow you to bring up to 2 other people. For the bounties, they took out Returning Victor, and they fixed some bounties that actually show you what you're supposed to do to complete them. They've changed some maps around. It's not that much of a big deal. Um, the items, you can now turn in planetary materials for faction rep, and if you go into my other videos, you can see which ones they are and how much you get for them. You can also go to the inventory when you're trying to discard exotics. They take a little bit longer to discard, just to make sure that nobody's doing it by accident. They've also done a few bug fixes here and there with audio and technical things, and that's pretty much it. For the most part, this update was huge. They've added a whole bunch of things, and for the most part, I think it's pretty good. It's really an opinion, my own opinion. Hopefully, I just personally am really glad that the Titans are more nerfed now, because I use a Titan and even I think that they're super OP. It's kind of crazy, ridiculous sometimes how when you're playing in control, a Titan sets off and you can gain like a 1200 lead in matter of seconds if you're behind. It's crazy, and they're finally nerfed, so that's kind of cool. Hopefully they're a little bit more balanced, and if not, then I guess we'll see another update to it. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a lot to go through, but I'm really glad for those of you that stuck around. I want to know what your opinions are. Leave them in the comments. What do you think should be nerfed? What do you think should be buffed? I really want to know, because it gives a good insight on what other people are saying and thinking about this game that we all love so much. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments too. And if not, then, awesome. That's cool. We can chat about other things too. So with that in mind, I'm signing off now. I'll see you guys later in the Crucible, maybe in the Sparrow Racing, maybe in raids, who knows. But go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.